All right, welcome to safetyman.co, and I'm here with Andrew Tylander. He's going to tell you exactly who he is. He's got a lot of letters and a lot of acronyms and stuff after his name, so I'm going to let him tell you exactly who he is. But he works for Hormone Health and Wellness of the Palm Beaches down in sunny Florida. You know, lucky for him, it's starting to get sunny up here in Jersey, where I'm broadcasting from. And remember, this podcast or this YouTube, wherever you're listening or looking at this, is sponsored by the Survival Tactics course. Okay, you go to survivaltacticscourse.com and you can train with myself, a former SWAT officer, and 4 former Navy SEALs, an Army Ranger, and a Marine Corps sniper to train you how to defend your family. But in order for you to be able to do that, you got to be in shape and healthy yourself. And that's why I have Mr. Tylander here. Andrew, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your clinic.
Thank you. Name's Andrew Tylander, and I do have a lot of acronyms at the end of my name. But one of the most recent ones that I have is I was recently certified by the Dr. Seeds Foundation. And if you're familiar with that at all, Dr. Seeds is kind of synonymous with peptide therapy. He's like the guru for peptides. You know, if ever there's something that, and I'm not being paid off in any way, I'm just telling you the truth. If you want to have a good resource for learning about peptides, what they do, how they work, Dr. Seeds, I believe it's drseeds.com. You can go in and look at that. And he's a really, really great resource. There's a lot of training courses that you can take, a lot of workshops, and does a lot of seminars throughout the country. So, that and patient care coordinator would be the official title that I'm following right now.
Okay.
But yeah, the clinic is Hormone Health and Wellness of the Palm Beaches, and we're, like you said, located here in sunny South Florida. Although today it's not very sunny. It's been thunderstorming and raining all day. So
boo-hoo.
It's kind of one of those days where you don't feel guilty about being inside working.
Yeah, it was 28 last week, so I don't even want to hear it, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Up here. You're still winning. You're still winning. So this is our second show, our second podcast. And in the first one, we kind of talked about just a big overall general thing of what your clinic offers, right?
Okay.
So, for anybody who wants to get that general idea of everything, they can go back and listen to that first show. There'll be links to it down in the bottom. There'll be links to it everywhere you can find and listen to this. So what I kind of wanted to do, and you can hear my voice, I'm still recovering from something every time I breathe. I don't know if it's allergies or what it was, but if somebody wants to kind of get in touch with you, first off, what's the first thing they need to do?
You can go to hormonehealthandwellness.com and fill out a contact form and kind of give us basic information, name, phone number, email, and then a brief description of kind of the symptoms that you're going through, what you're experiencing. If you're looking for weight loss, medical assisted, you've struggled with things in the past and feel like there may be something hormonal, that's kind of going on that's causing you to fight like a losing battle, which happens more often than you would believe. It just is. I don't know if it's just like nationwide diet or nationwide stress levels, things like that, but hormones are just dipping across the board.
Yeah, I could feel the emotion coming from you when you're talking about that. Yeah. So it's obviously definitely something that's affecting a lot of people. Probably, the pandemic's increased stress. I don't think people were eating as healthily during the pandemic because they're afraid to go shop, the Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff. So things are just compounding.
Yeah. Cortisol levels are going up. Testosterone, estrogen levels are going down. Right. All the good stuff. And it's just everything is switching in the wrong direction.
So real quick, those 3 words, explain how those 3 hormones or those 3 factors can affect somebody: cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone.
So cortisol is the stress hormone. Okay. It raises when you're stressed. It's kind of like involved in the fight or flight reflexes. And it just jacks up, causes adrenaline to be released, and makes people anxious, nervous, and stressed out. And the more of that you have, the more consistently you're going to be stressed out. And cortisol is one of the things that we test for at the clinic, and that's a big factor. If people are feeling depressed or anxious, it might not be hormones. It could be something like that. But that is one that I have been seeing going up and up. And because you just recently had we can say magnificently green, blood work. But
Yes.
the ranges that are on the blood works from the time that I've started in this industry to today, the ranges are based off the nationwide averages.
Okay.
What levels of showing that, and those ranges are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the average, say, testosterone level of a male 40 years old, was maybe 700, 10 years ago. And now we're lucky to see like 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
And again, you're saying that has a lot to do with stress, potentially diet, maybe things in the environment and all that.
Yeah. Just overall stress, diet, and I hate to say that, a lot of people have been sick and, changing their lifestyles around and becoming more sedentary,
Yeah, that Netflix and chill is killing everybody, right?
Netflix and chilling is killing the hormones, man.
Deadlifts and chill, right? Deadlifts.
Yeah,
and
deadlifts and chill.
That's what we got to do. We got to start doing that. All right. So I want to get my summer body, right? That's the whole, that's what we want to talk about, is supercharging our search for that summer body through the right supplementation is kind of what we're going to talk about today. So somebody fills out that contact form, they get a hold of you, you reach out to them, and there's going to be like an intake or some sort of discussion. And then what do they do next?
Yeah. So after the discussion, if they come to the discussion with blood work that's from, say, within 3 to 6 months, maybe we would stretch it out to 6 months, depending on how comprehensive that blood work is. We can use that blood work to kind of get an idea of what's going on. If not, then they're going to need to get new blood work through us. Obviously, that's what we prefer every time, but sometimes it can be really expensive, and we try to be cost conscious with everybody that we deal with. But once we have that blood work, then we can really see what's going on, and try to build a custom protocol based off of what those numbers are. And say someone wants to get Beachbody ready, then there's always the basics that we start with, and that would be like the TRT portion, or in the females' perspective, it would just be HRT, because yes, TRT is very common, but obviously no woman is going to be taking testosterone therapy, in general. So hormone therapy is more for that. But once that base has been established, we kind of get an optimum balance. Then there are medically assisted compounds, there are medically assisted weight loss compounds that we can add into that protocol. All
right. And so these compounds you're talking about now, where do they come from? Where do you guys make them there? You have a pharmacy and everything that you work with?
Yeah, we have a couple different pharmacies. Sorry, my headset's acting up. I'm just trying to keep bopping it. A couple different pharmacies that we work with. We vet them very, very well. Require potency testing, sterility testing, proof that the products are valid and up to date. And there have been, unfortunately, a couple of pharmacies that are in the process of being shut down by the FDA. That we're kind of weary about, and I'm not going to name any names, but there are 2 big ones that are under investigation right now.
Oh, really?
Because their sterility testing failed for, I think, 3 to 6 months. They didn't even know that they were under investigation. That people were ordering products and testing them, and so we try to get the sterility testing as often as possible. But the pharmacies are all U.S. based. Everything is prescription, DEA, FDA approved. So we're very, very strict with that. We're never going to get anything off label, ever.
That's what I like to hear. So safe and effective, my 2 favorite words when I talk to my clients. If it's not safe and effective, then Safety Man doesn't even want to talk about it. So
why would you want to do something like that? Why take that risk?
Exactly. With your body.
This is your body.
Right. You could put the wrong thing in it and then make a bad problem way worse than that, right? All right. So we're going to drill down. So the 4 pillars that I kind of wrote down, and to get that summer body, that beach body ready. All right, we're at tax day almost, right? Today's tax day, right?
It is. Yes.
We got to hurry up then. We got to quickly get this.
It's the last day I can deposit it into my IRA.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of depositing, so what we deposit into our body is definitely huge, right? So the 4 pillars are like diet, right? We got to have a good diet. I mean, you can't do miracles with your lab, right? You can't do miracles, but you can really help.
You can really help. Yes.
Got to have a good diet. We got to have rest and recovery, right? So, we got to have great workout program. And then what we're going to focus on mainly today is obviously supercharging all of that with the proper supplementation, right? You would
Yep.
agree with those, probably those four things, or
Yeah, I mean, they all work cohesively together,
right?
because without diet, I mean, everybody says that, like it's 90% of the game. I mean, that's true, and you are what you eat. As cliche as that sounds, it's the truth.
Yeah,
If you put garbage in your system, you're going to get garbage results,
right.
bottom line. Then, the exercise, obviously, recovery, how much sleep you get, how well you sleep, and then supplementation, where I come in and,
Right.
help supercharge all of the other three, for sure.
Right. So you're going to make those things work even better for you, right? You're going to make those things
Yes.
work better.
The results that you would get are multiplied.
Right. I can definitely tell the difference. Like I said, as a client, you see my blood work, my personal doctors see my blood work, and all my friends and family have noticed a difference in my physique. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just listen to the podcast, bro. Listen to the podcast. I'm working out, trying to rest. I'm eating a lot better. If I could have one wish though, it would be that McDonald's was health food." See, if I could just have one wish, it would make McDonald's health food.
Are you more a Big Mac or a quarter pounder guy?
Yeah, quarter pounder all day, all day. Okay. I don't like it too sloppy. All right, so let's get just like my body. I don't like my body too sloppy. All right, so if I'm a dude, I come in, I get my blood work. You determine there's a deficiency. What are some of the options that you're going to give me to help me get locked on to get my summer body as soon as possible?
Okay, so I mean, outside of the standard TRT protocols, which we went over in the first video, there are additional medically assisted weight loss medications that we can do. First and foremost is one of the biggest ones that is it's super popular right now, MOTS-C, and I believe you just were informed about that one through my lovely emails that I send out. What that does is just imagine every cell in the body. Every cell in the body has an engine called mitochondria, and that's like the power source for the like I said, like the engine of the cell, and it uses glucose for energy. Glucose is also, when there's too much of it, the body will store that as fat because it thinks that it needs to save it for later, basically. Okay. So when you introduce MOTS-C into the body, it's like throwing a supercharger or a turbocharger, twin turbo, like a bi-turbo on top of the engine of every single cell. So it takes that glucose without you even having to really change your diet and burns it off faster than you can convert it into fat. So it works in two ways. It burns off the fat or burns off the glucose before it turns into fat. And any of the fat that you already have, it uses that as energy because it's going to cause the cells to almost like starve for more energy. So it's just a constant boost. Now this is one that you only want to do for about 8 weeks at a time. So you kind of want to time it properly along with a couple other medications. And it's a scalable one. So you start out with a certain dosage for the first 4 weeks, and then you titrate that dosage for the second 4 weeks.
And those results, so what the results are, how soon would I notice the results?
With MOTS-C, probably by day 2, because but it's not like you'll notice the physical results that fast, because the fat has to have time to burn off.
Right.
But the energy that you get, it's kind of hard to describe. And I'm currently on it myself. I'm taking it. I use myself as a test dummy for everything. I mean, so a new product comes out, I'm like, yep, I'll try it.
Hey, and you're still here, so
I'm still here. I don't have a third arm anywhere that I know about, and I haven't grown any antlers out of my head or anything, so I'm pretty good. But yeah, so it gives you that constant all-day energy. Instead of like the jittery kind of feeling that you get.
Not like a pre-workout.
Right, exactly. It's not like a pre-workout. It's just a constant state of energy.
Now, is that going to affect my sleep? Because I struggle with sleep. Is that going to, for somebody like me, when I want to shut down at night, is that going to have any effect there?
It has not affected, because I have trouble with my sleep too, like staying asleep. And I have not noticed anything like that. Because again, it's harder to describe because it's not a stimulant. It's just like when you normally have energy, that energy level that you have is just higher. You're still going to get tired, at the end of the day. Your body's still going to want to sleep and recover, but it's just going to be, a more high and then, a not so low.
Got you. So that's one of the things that men and women could both benefit from.
Absolutely. I think everything that I'm going to touch on today would be, applicable for both, just in different dosages.
Okay. So what's that called again?
That's MOTS-C. So MOTS dash C.
Okay. All right. Definitely writing that one down.
For sure.
I don't know if you could see my face light up when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
But it's I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. It's a good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that one's probably going to be something that's going to be on everybody's list, because we've all got the COVID-19 that we kind of put on, right?
Yeah.
That we want to get rid of. So that's going to be on everybody's list, because I want to see that. Not just the top row of abs. There's supposed to be some other rows under there that I want to.
There are. Yeah, there are. They're down there. You just got to dig for them a little bit.
Yeah, well, I got to dig for them. So that MOTS-C is going to definitely help. MOTS-C. So what's next? What's next on your list of
so let's see. So the MOTS-C would be kind of like, something that you can take along with everything that I'm mentioning. I think the next one, and this would be more applicable to the heavier set type of people, the ones that have gotten to the point where it's a lot harder for them to lose that weight, because there is an enzyme in the body in white blood cells called, or not white blood cells, white fat cells, that it's called NNMT. And that's produced, it's an enzyme from the fat cells. And the more fat cells you have, the more of that enzyme is produced. And that enzyme causes more fat cells to be created. So basically, the short and sweet of it is that the fatter you are, the more fat you grow. And the harder it is to lose that.
Okay.
So this peptide supplement called 5-amino 1Q, and I know this is all the acronyms and all the crazy stuff that I'm going to talk about. It blocks that enzyme.
Okay.
So anyone who's trying to lose weight, who's trying to diet, who is getting frustrated, because the weight's just not coming off, but they're at that higher BMI plateau, like over 30, something like that. Where they need to lose, like 60 pounds, some 60, 90 pounds even, like that's the type of person who would want to take this. I mean, it would work well for anybody, but the ones who would really notice it are the ones that are up there, in weight. And it's something that I think is, not just great for people of that size, but mentally, it helps them. It keeps them goal-oriented and, helps them see results instead of getting frustrated and just giving up. Because truthfully, it is harder for the larger people to lose that weight.
Yeah.
So having something that blocks that enzyme is just like a golden ticket, to the right path.
And I like what you said, Andrew. It motivates them. So when you see those victories, those successes, it motivates you to stick with the diet, the rest, the recovery, the exercise, and the supplementation, because I'm starting to see it work. And what you're doing is we're supercharging it, right? Yes,
exactly. And not to get too off topic, but the motivation thing, something that's always motivated me has never been, that like big guy that can bench press like 500 pounds, like you see them all the time, but it's that like the guy that weighs 500 pounds, that's on the treadmill, who's doing his best, who's trying really hard, or the guy that weighs 90 pounds that has, like the bench pressing the bar. Like that to me is motivating, because those are the people that are like really trying. Not to say that the 500 pounds isn't hard, but I mean they've dedicated their lives to that. Like that's more of like, all right, let's put 5 more pounds on and get a new PR. But like somebody in those other two scenarios, they're changing their life.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. All right, so we got those two locked on. What else are we going to talk about? So again, I want to come to you, Andrew. You got to help me, man. Here's my blood work. Yep. I got a pool party coming up on July 1st, man.
Okay.
I got to be the guy.
Okay. So we got 2.5 months. I mean, some of these things take a little bit of time, but there's another one that is also very popular. It's called Semaglutide. Okay. And that doesn't have any funky acronyms or anything to it. It's just hard to say. Semaglutide. That is an insulin modulator. So it kind of helps the body, again, process insulin, blood sugar, and it keeps everything level. So, it helps people that are on a diet, that are trying to lose weight, lose it even faster. And this is the type of thing where it's a one-shot injection, 1 shot per week. And it's a very, very small amount. And the reason that it's a very small amount is because it can make people nauseous if you take too much.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where no matter who you are, you need to start at a low dose and kind of gradually go up, each week, because it's not cheap. It works really well, but if you take too much and get nauseous, you'll be nauseous for days and you'll be miserable and you're like, I'm never putting that stuff in my body. And there you go. The game is over for that person.
Now it's over. Now it's back to McDonald's and Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what's that one called again?
Semaglutide.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all these, now all three you said so far, could I use all? They're kind of all seem like they're going in the same direction. So I probably wouldn't need all three of these.
Well, all three of those would work synergistically together.
Okay. Okay.
So they would be, part of I'd say 8 to 10 week protocol. If you really wanted to lose, like that 30, 40 pounds, that last bit, and to get ready for that pool party or something, that protocol for, 10 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks would be phenomenal for anyone. Right. I mean, anyone is going to notice huge changes on something like that.
All right. And so we're right about it at that window now where people are going to have to ask to get off the pot right now, right? Like get your gym membership, call Andrew, go get your blood work and get her done right now, right?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you live, it's always beach time. Fortunately for us, we get to wear hoodies until, for another month or so.
There's a lot of pressure to have that beach body year round here in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
There's about 2 days where we wear sweaters.
Yeah.
And they already happened. So
yeah, you already had them. You got them out of the way. Yeah, it was 80 yesterday, up here finally.
Yeah.
We're good. All right, Andrew. So, all right, help me out now. So what's next? I'm July 1st is my pool party. What I got to do?
So there's also some more aggressive ones that we can go with. I don't generally like to, prescribe them very often, but there's proper testing that you have to go through. Let's see, Phentermine is one of them. The BMI has to be of a certain amount, and we have to see blood pressure, cholesterol, and make sure that there's no history of any bad reactions to stimulants, because Phentermine is a stimulant. It's an appetite suppressant. And it's more for the aggressive medically assisted weight loss, for someone who possibly even has an eating disorder, because like a binge eater or something. But it definitely works. I mean, that one will kill the appetite for the first 6 to 8 hours of the day, which cuts out basically half the calories that someone intakes throughout the day, but also replaces the energy that you don't get from having the food in a cheating way. I'll just say that, because it's a stimulant. It gives you that fake energy. But that one's good to kind of get things started. That would be like a jump start, if you wanted to. But also there's a more mild version of that does not require heavier testing. It's called ECA, and that stands for ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. And the ephedrine's the appetite suppressant, caffeine is the stimulant, and aspirin is in there just for safety reasons, like safety net, to help thin out the blood just slightly, because it's a stimulant. So those are really, really good. But those two would be kind of like that. All right, we got to get this going. Get some real quick results, and cut down on the eating really quick.
All right, so what we've kind of talked about is giving us some energy, right? Giving us some quick results so we can see some fat coming off. Right. So I also want to get some muscle coming in.
Okay.
Right? So I got to supercharge those biceps and those pecs, so people ask me, hey, Corey, where is the pool? Point the right way.
Or that way.
I knew I could get you to do it.
I had to. Okay. Give me 5 more minutes or a drink or something. I'll take my shirt off. But I mean, there's a couple different things that we can add in that would help with the muscle tone, and generally that is all based around the testosterone, and the testosterone levels, because if someone's levels are really low, then they just can't put the muscle on, their body's not producing properly. That's where that comes from. So you're gonna look at that blood work, find out what that testosterone level is, then you're gonna be able to do things with your clinic to help raise that number up. Yep, exactly. Now there are special cases where certain individuals may have muscle diseases that are preventing the muscle from growing properly. And again, there's additional testing that goes into doing something like that. But if they have history of rhabdo, muscular dystrophy, rhabdo is rhabdomyosis. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically the disease where the muscle tissue eats itself because it's been working so hard and it's so stressed out. It doesn't know what's what. It's just looking for protein, so it's eating its own protein. Rabbits. But there's a medication called oxandrolone that is very, very good for that. You know, it's also used for, we'll say, you know, like people who are not paraplegic, but you know, that have been in like really bad accidents, you know, that have had damage to their limbs and the muscle has atrophied, and they need to go through a lot of physical therapy and you know have to basically learn how to use their limbs again, rebuild the muscle, retrain the muscle. That's another feature of or usage case of that medication because it helps rapidly grow the lean muscle, which you know causes the joint movements to be more fluid and you know actually reduces joint pain as well because it builds you know the muscle around the joint, helps it move a lot easier. But you know it also has the lovely side effect of getting people pretty ripped. So
pretty ripped. Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Cool
saying
ready.
good words. Already. Okay. You're saying good words.
Yeah.
So that definitely actually sounds really good because my wife and I both have had operations in the past 6 months, and we both have had to go through PT. Fortunately, they're very minor. I just had an arthroscopic on my left knee. She had a what do you call a hip
ACL or
no, I forgot what it's called already.
Okay.
But she's good. She's getting ready to start back work. She's a personal trainer and a fitness instructor, so she's going back, which is one of the reasons why Corey always has to try and stay in shape.
Yes.
You know, because the wife's always in shape.
Always in shape. That's her job.
Exactly. That is her job. So she can't walk around with a slot. Like, you can't even get this guy locked on. You know, why are we going to come to you? But labrum. It was a labrum. She
okay. Oh, I've actually I was going to give a similar story.
Oh, really?
I tore my labrum doing yoga of all things, and I mean I'm saying this on you know a live podcast, but yeah, it's true. I was just doing a simple shoulder stretch where I was turning them in and out, and it snapped the left labrum right here in my arm, my shoulder, and I felt a little pop, and you know I was kind of like, okay, that was weird, and you know I did the whole yoga session, and I didn't have any issues, you know, like it felt tight, you know, I didn't really know what was going on, but the next morning when I woke up to try and turn my alarm clock off, I tried to post my weight on that arm and it just completely gave out. There was nothing there.
Wow.
You know, and then I knew something was wrong. Went and got an MRI, and you know, they told me that there was a partial tear, like almost halfway hanging off. And you know, being you know a professional mind, I knew exactly what I needed to do, and you know, physical therapy. But I also put myself on a protocol of, well, I mean, talk about it with the medical director, obviously. He put me on it. I can't put myself on anything. That's how it works. You know, no doctor can prescribe their own stuff.
Right. Yeah, it'd be problematic, I could see.
Yeah, it would be, yeah, that's bad. So he prescribed me a combination of BPC for the healing factor, CJC ipamorelin for the healing and rest recovery, thiamine beta, and then low dose nandrolone decadent, which if you've ever taken that, even in low dosages, that puts on a lot of muscle and is very, very good for someone who's trying to repair a joint area, because it builds the muscle around the joint. It helps the healing and helps the PT. So after 3 months of that treatment with PT, I went and got another MRI, and the joint felt great, and the labrum had actually grown back together because of the thiamine beta.
Wow.
Yeah.
But was your PT impressed?
Yes. Yes, they were.
Now, were they aware of the protocol that you're on, or did they just think, wow, this guy's Superman?
No, I mean, they're just like, wow, I mean, he's kind of flying through this stuff, and they never asked me, and I didn't, I don't really tell.
I'm sure you enjoyed it subconsciously. I'm sure you
subconsciously I enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a superstar in physical therapy. I gotta be the best at everything.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, we're guys. That's what we do. That's why we climb Mount Everest and fly to the moon. All right, those are some awesome combinations that you're talking about. Anything else for guys or girls that may be sex specific to help get those beach bodies ready by like that July 1st pool
I
party?
mean, those we went over like the main ones.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of touched on the CJC ipamorelin.
Mhm.
That's a growth hormone releasing peptide. That's
Okay.
great for every single thing in the body. That also boosts metabolism and jump starts the production of HGH inside the body. So it's
Mhm.
like it's a safer version of, I personally would never take growth hormone just
Okay.
because of the side effects that happen. Like it's just that, I had a lot of cancerous history in my family. And
Mhm.
if there was any type of cancerous growths in the body and you take human growth hormone, it would cause those cells to multiply faster as well as everyone else. So that's not something I really want to mess with.
Okay.
But a growth hormone releasing peptide actually causes your body to release its own growth hormone that's designed for your body. So it's much safer. It's a better option. It's slower going,
Mhm.
but it's always going to be the safer option.
So it's going to stimulate your body's own production of it,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
is good.
Basically turns you into a kid again. Cranks up the growth hormone, and it gets to the like your metabolism. Like you can eat whatever you want, it just burns off. Kind of deal. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. That sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
Just no McDonald's.
Yeah. All right. So for women, anything women specific?
Women specific. I mean, even though I touched on the testosterone and HRT therapy,
Mhm.
low dose testosterone can be good and beneficial for women because a lot of women, just like men, women require testosterone just like men require estrogen.
Mhm.
It's just that balance between the two that you really need to focus on. And I personally like to see, women have the testosterone range of like 50 to 70,
Okay.
whereas like males, 900,
Okay.
would be like really optimum. Anything above that, just a little bit overkill. But I think getting women to that point, it would be very beneficial to their metabolism and muscle growth, and not get like beast mode in the gym type muscle for
Right.
women,
Right.
but a nice like healthy toned look. And with that toned muscle, it burns the fat and glucose for energy, so it helps to prevent the fat storing, which is always the biggest problem.
Is it
It's the
stored fat?
storing, of the fat.
Right.
Because the body's built to burn it off. If you can keep it from adding on, then that's where you really lose the weight.
Okay. And everything you talked about before is going to really supercharge that process, right?
Yes, yeah.
Those ones we talked about before.
I think the first 6 things I talked about
Yeah.
all focus on burning glucose and using glucose and preventing it from being stored.
Yeah.
Because that's the key. But that one with MOTS-C, I mean, every single cell in the body just becomes more efficient.
Right.
When it really starts cranking, the clarity of thought comes through. You just feel more energy. You feel more drive, more positivity. Just kind of like a glow. I don't know. You won't know it until you feel it.
Right.
It's kind of like, oh yeah, that's that gibberish he was blabbering on about.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I guess it's like trying to describe the best food in the world. Like it's like umami, that 6 Japanese
Yes.
flavor, that umami is like, you just got to taste it.
You got to taste it.
Yeah.
You can't describe a flavor. You just can't. You can try.
You could try.
Mhm.
All right. So some last things that you want to talk about to wrap up, Andrew, about giving people confidence in your labs and all those things that you were talking about. Again, just how they can get a hold of you, and it's about how all the sterility process and all that stuff that you're doing.
I mean, they can email me directly, if they want to. And it's Andrew at hhwpalmbeach.com. And that's Hormone Health and Wellness of the Palm Beaches. They can contact me anytime via email. I would give out the phone number, but some people are, they call it like midnight, 1 a.m. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw your podcast. I'll give them the number after I vet them.
Yeah, cool. 100%.
But yeah, they can contact me via email. I'm usually really quick to respond, and
you definitely are.
Yeah, and I can send out a contact form or medical history form for them to fill out, which is just a basic questionnaire to kind of describe everything that's going on. Once that's done, then that kickstarts the actual conversation, and then we talk about like face to face, what's going on, what they want to do, and then schedule the blood work, get the blood work, go over every single number in detail, as you know. I mean, you've done it a couple times. And that's the key point, like making sure that the numbers are right, that the numbers stay balanced, that nothing's out of whack, that nothing slips through the cracks, because it's not something that you want to entrust in just anybody, and you want someone who knows what they're looking at.
Right.
Like I actually just heard, from someone yesterday, and like these are things that happen all the time. Someone came to me because they had a consultation with another clinic, and their B12 level was at 1300, and they were talking to a rep who was literally just trying to upsell them, probably wasn't even looking at the blood work, and said, yeah, well, if you want some B12 for energy, we can add that to your package. And the guy said he literally asked them, are you looking at my blood work? I have a 1300. I'm off the scale. Why would you recommend a B12 shot? Like, I don't need that.
Right.
And his estrogen was also under, it was so low that it was unreadable. And they wanted to add estrogen blockers into his protocol, which is completely incorrect. You need estrogen. Like, having no estrogen in a male can lead to cardiac arrest and depression, lots of different problems. And this is someone who was supposed to be a professional from a very well-known clinic in Florida. I will not say the name, but I was shocked to hear it. And it's scary. So you want someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, you definitely made me feel comfortable, because you were really strict about the blood work, and then you followed up with the blood work later. So that's one of the things. It's not that you could just get blood work once and then you get on a protocol and then you just keep sending people stuff every month or every 6 months. You want to have this follow-up checks, right?
Yeah, no, you got to check it. You have to. Like, I know you can probably see me getting passionate, because it's like, it frustrates me that people don't do that, because these are people's hormones, these are people's lives, and you're changing things and you're making adjustments. You can't just give them something and set it on autopilot and hope it works out. You got to check. You got to get them to that sweet spot where they have 2 or 3 blood works that are okay, that are don't require any adjustments, and then maybe you can stretch out how long in between blood works. But when you're first starting people out, I mean, you got to check consistently.
I mean, I know we're using the term supercharge. I don't know if you ever watched drag racing, but when they're got that supercharger and they got that dragster right up at the line, they're fine tuning that thing until the last second, right?
The last second.
The last possible second before they hit go. So it's kind of similar to what you're talking about. Is we could put the best motor, put the best driver, put the best fuel, put the best supercharger on there, but we still got to fine tune it to get the best results.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and like you said, the 4 pillars. It's not just the supplementation. You got to put in the work. You got to do the diet. You got to take care of yourself.
Right.
The medications will help, and they will guaranteed multiply the results. But you got to do the work to start those results. Produced.
Exactly. Well, Andrew, again, another fact-filled, fun conversation that we had again today. I'm gonna definitely make sure I have all that contact information at the bottom of the YouTube, at the bottom of the podcast, so people can get a hold of you. Remember, if you mention Survival Tactics course and you heard it, Survival Tactics course or Safety Man, you can get 5% off of your first order from Andrew, providing that you do everything that he said with the protocols. Don't just call him and ask him to send you a brown box in the mail. That's not how this works.
It's not how this works.
This is legit, right?
Yes.
All right. Any last words?
No, just have a happy Easter and stay safe. I kind of stole that one from you, though.
Yeah. Stay safe. That's what I say all the time. All right. This is Safety Man and Andrew Tylander signing off. Until next month, we'll get some more information. But for now, stay safe. Supercharge that diet, supercharge that body, get yourself ready.